Welcome to the GHQ Crew podcast, and we're paging Dr. Chipinski.
You don't break it up so much. You just kind of like say it.
Chipinski?
Paging Dr. Chipinski.
Paging Dr. Chipinski. I feel like I would mess it up if I tried to say it fast.
Well, just got to let it roll off the tongue.
McElroy, Board, you know.
Oh, my God.
Paging Dr. Chipinski.
Yeah, there you go.
I still said it kind of slow.
It's better, but still you need to work on it.
Woo, today's going to be good.
It's going to be a good episode. Guys, welcome to episode number 14. Episode 14.
Wow.
We're on episode 14, and it's going to be a fun episode. It's going to be a fun episode because we have a very, very special guest, and we've had 4 weeks of just legends in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And
this one, though, this one takes the cake.
This one takes the cake because not only is he a legend in the golf shop, in golf headquarters, but also he is a freaking phenomenal golfer, and we have lots of stories to talk about from the golf course, not just the golf shop. And none other than, can we just give a big warm welcome to Mr. Martin Board?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
What's up, bro?
That was a very, very nice intro. I'm not sure what my legend status is. I don't really.
Well, let me just tell you, Martin, part of your legendary status, and I think the people in the world need to know this, you have the most glorious calves on earth. There. Have you seen this guy's calves?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, we talked about that all the time in the shop.
I mean, he finishes and they just go.
They're like Transformers.
Yeah, he hits it 400 miles.
Yeah.
With a driver, 3-wood, really anything. And Martin, I've made this argument multiple times. If you're wondering about your legendary status, I've made this comment multiple times. Maybe the best ball striker I've ever met.
I have my days.
Yeah.
There was
They're most days.
We were talking about this a few weeks ago about you, Martin, is like if we were to put Martin Board on the driving range with PGA pros and like they were just, all y'all were just pounding golf balls, there would be no difference.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, if you could zoom in on the brain, there'd be a big difference there. Some days I think I've played like 2 rounds of golf where I wasn't thinking about anything, and I mean, the other 75,000 were very much mentally deterred. I don't know if that was the right word, but yeah,
it fit.
I could talk my way out of anything. It's just
What? Yeah, let's get into that. What happens?
I don't know, dude. I just sometimes just get scared out there, have high expectations for myself, and I can get pretty scared out there, but some days it's not like that. But I appreciate the kind words about obviously as much as I've played golf, if I didn't know how to hit a golf ball, at least in some capacity, I would be a big waste of my time.
We've played a lot of golf together,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen some stupid stuff. Not like dumb stuff. I've seen some ridiculous shots from you.
A putt for double eagle on a par 5.
Yeah, putt for double eagle on a par 5. Number 17 at Nueva Vista, you hit 5-iron 285 onto that green.
Well, that was
No, don't be humble about it because it still took every bit of 260 to carry the bunker.
I turned and looked at Clinton and said, he has a 5-iron. What's he going to do?
Carries the bunker.
It sounds like a shotgun, folks, when he hits that 5-iron, and it took off. I mean, it was like this cross between a stinger and like just a pure glory shot.
And I swear it entered the atmosphere so fast it caught on fire.
Oh, yeah, I definitely saw sparks.
Number 11 at Midland Country Club, I hit it to probably 6 inches, and you hit it inside of me. You almost sunk it for a hole-in-one on 11 at Midland Country Club. I thought I jarred it, and then dink right inside of me. I was so mad at you.
That was on purpose.
Yeah. Some amazing golf has been played by this man. But beyond that, probably one of the funnest human beings to be around.
I
appreciate
concur.
that.
I
Yeah.
concur.
We've definitely had lots of times together. When I started working here in December of like 2010,
That sounds about
I
right.
worked here all through college. These are relationships that I still look back on and very, very grateful to have been able to spend such quality time with both of y'all.
Yeah.
You know, this is one of my favorites because I think so many people are going to get so much out of today.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
I want you to watch this with intent because we're going to dive into some cool stuff with Martin. You know, I want to, and we'll get back to the fear thing in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But what most people don't know, because you're high functioning, is you struggled mightily through high school and college with ADHD or ADD. Which one was it?
Since I was about 2,
Yeah,
we'll call it.
yeah.
High school and college were just,
This
was
kid
already-
was everywhere.
I was already able to function at that point.
Yeah, but we'd be at the shop, and Martin, just so everybody knows, Martin has tour quality club work, and that's no joke. And he has from day one. It's an expectation, as he said. And if that doesn't look like the tour van after he's sitting there doing your ferals,
Yeah.
he's gonna freak out, right? But invariably, I would come in, and Martin would just be pacing and just sweating like 10 pigs in there, right? And he'd just be running around. I'm like, Martin, what are you doing? Well, I was talking to this guy, and he still has the club in his hand he's been working on for 2 hours, right? And he's just staring at it. And I go, Martin, go finish the club. Go finish it.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, sorry, man. And he'd go in there and he'd finish that club. And it was time to start another one. So we didn't have same day reshafting back then.
It got to a point where
Yeah.
he would say, all right, you have 2 hours and you have to just do clubs. You just close the door and just don't come out.
Be by yourself for a while.
You know, there's a TV over the deal. We could turn the golf tournaments on so I could kind of be, letting my mind do something else while I'm doing this. But yeah.
My question is, did that affect golf?
I mean, I'm sure it does. In other ways, it can be good though. Like if I'm playing really well, like, if I'm hitting a couple bad shots here or whatever, like I can focus elsewhere and
Yeah.
forget about it. Whenever I'm not playing well though, it kind of tends to stick with me longer, which is kind of I can shoot some high rounds because I can get really down the bad path on it, just like really negative and just not.
It'll kind of stick with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty. In the past, I've been pretty prone to letting things kind of like hang on to me and
Fester.
yeah, like the best players in the world. If they hit a bad shot, they don't even remember it after they strike it. Once it hits the ground, they're like, all right, what? I don't even know what happened. So and they go up and hit on the green or whatever.
So has that kind of as you've gotten older and more wise and all the things, right? Mm-hmm. Have you kind of learned how to manage that a little bit more out on the golf course? I mean, would you say you don't get as frazzled?
Yes and no. I mean, just depends on the day, kind of where how I'm playing. I mean, like a couple weeks ago, I was just playing horrible, just hitting it all over the place. Not sure why. I mean, obviously, I've got a job now. I've got 2 kids. So I'm just not grinding like I used to, and I think sometimes it kind of helps me. And like, I don't have a whole lot to. I don't know what I'm doing wrong most of the time. I can go out there for 3 days and kind of put lightning in a bottle and just, most of the golf I'm playing nowadays is 2-man events, and I got a really good partner whenever I'm playing, and I can rely on them and feed off their energy. Like if my partner starts playing good, like I can kind of just like plug in and roll with them. But yeah, I mean, you hear it all the time. It's like the number one thing in golf, like it's so mental. The best players in the world they can forget like that and they can adjust well. And sometimes I'm able to adjust well. Sometimes I'm not able to do that. But yeah, I mean, I think in certain aspects I have gotten better just because my expectations are a lot lower than they used to be, and I'm not really, it's more for fun now. I mean, of course I want to go out there and beat everybody, but because I'm competitive. But
Sure.
I know that the realisticness of that is just, let's have fun. And a lot of times if I'm having fun, that helps me play good too, because it's like, oh, this is fun, not
Yeah,
working.
your expectations fun,
Yeah, exactly.
not whatever it was. And dude, I mean, since 2010, there's no way the Martin board of 2010 says that.
Not at all.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's been tremendous growth, but I'm sure Clinton's just chomping at the bit to talk about where you came from and all that. But I just thought that's been a great, I guess, growth that you've had over the years is managing the expectations. I think that's the real teachable moment here for anybody watching that struggled with maybe some of that, right? Some of the mental side, or maybe not letting the shots go, or, maybe you do struggle with ADD or something like this, right? Like it's a process to figure that out, right?
Oh, and I mean, I definitely still have ADD. You can ask my wife; it drives her nuts. she'll be like, "Hey, can you like do the dishes or whatever?" And that's a normal task to do, right? And
Yeah.
I'll be like, "Yeah, no problem." And then I'm in there like doing something, like she'll come back in and the dishes are still sitting there, and I'm jacking with something over here, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just like, "Oh, sorry." Like, all right, and then I'll go do them. But yeah, I mean, I'm very distractible. It's
I think back to the expectation thing though, for Martin, the expectation was legit. Because I mean the talent was there. And to expect those, like for an average golfer, well, I want to hit it at the pin, and I missed it off to the right, like off the green. Martin's like, I want to hit it at the pin, and it was maybe 10, 15 foot right of the pin, and he didn't quite hit the window you wanted to hit. So that frustration and the expectation was justified because the talent was there to back it up.
Sure.
And so, like, I think the only way I know how to say it is like, man, you had the game to be justified at being frustrated with it. And then again, it was just hard to get it out of your mind to move on to the next shot. And it's just, folks, when we say the talent was there and still is there, because yeah, well, we'll get into some of that. I want to know, and kind of pissed me off when you said you knew exactly where I wanted to go with this.
Do I know you or do I know you?
You know me. I want to know kind of a few things, right? When you got started, who was your influence to get you into golf, right? When you got started, kind of go up through high school into your college days, because you played college golf, and kind of talk us through that, where golf began in your life.
So, everybody when they're little, you always do the soccer, the t-ball, the flag football, whatever it is. There's always like the developmental sports to kind of get people to, or get kids to learn how to work as a team, right? It's kind of more of like a life building skill type of deal.
Sure.
Obviously, you've got your kids that are from a really young age. You can see that they're going to be good at football or soccer or whatever it is, and I just wasn't that guy. I was the guy on the soccer field that was picking flowers and wanting to go home and eat snacks and do all that. And I remember I ended up playing like basketball in 8th grade just because that's what all my friends were doing. I wanted to do that. But I remember about 8th grade kind of doing basketball, and I was like decent, but I wasn't an idiot, and I could tell that wasn't just going to be something I was going to be doing for a long time. So
Yeah.
And my dad, he played professional golf for a few years, and he was like a club pro for a while, and he was always playing golf, and he was good too. And
Played at UT.
yeah, he played for Texas and went to South Africa to play professional for a little bit, and you know, every time my dad would, he still had a tour bag for whatever reason. And he would always bring his tour bag home when he would get done playing golf. And this was after he was done playing pro. And
Sure.
I would always like be super interested in his golf bag. I would go open it up and pull all the golf balls out whenever I was like 6, 7 years old, whatever. And then I kind of just, you know, my dad was still playing a bunch of golf, and kind of like I'm doing now. He, you know, not anything super serious, but he was just still playing. And I was like, I want to do that. So I go out with my dad, and yeah, I mean, and I was obviously like, he's still good. I mean, I played with him a couple months ago, and I mean, he's not what he used to be, but you know, you can just kind of still see it in him. You know, you see him swing a club, and every once in a while he hits a shot, and you're like, I mean, he doesn't play twice a year now, but kind of what you were alluding to earlier, like you just have, when you have the ability, you can just see it in people, right? And so I would always want to be like him, and so we would just go play, and I just kind of had a good person to learn from the time I was little until he finally passed me off to an instructor that I worked with for 20 years.
And who was that?
Buck Mayers. He's in Austin. Yeah, he's out at Escondido now. He's awesome, man. He pretty much taught me everything I knew about the golf swing, and I started working with him when I was 12. I just don't have a ton of time anymore, so I haven't been seeing him in the last few years. I think the last time I saw him was maybe 3 years ago, but he, pretty much everything that my golf swing is from just repetitions with him. I've probably taken, 100 lessons with him in my life, which over 20 years doesn't sound like that many, but a lot of that was front loaded. So
yeah,
I was taking probably, 8 to 10 a year, and he was at my home club, so I could always pop over and have him take a look. And he would come watch me play in tournaments and stuff, and just kind of, but he was money. He was really good.
I always remember you looking. We had those big mirrors. You remember in the old shop, and he'd be sitting there looking in those mirrors all the time.
Yep.
And he was always working on this. It was super cool. Now you played. So you played junior golf. You played in high school. Mm-hmm. Who'd you play for in high school? Midland High.
Midland High.
Yeah.
Go
Bulldogs.
But interestingly enough, now tell me more about like the junior golf, because I mean you were ranked at one point, yeah? Like you were.
I mean,
you were a decent junior player as well.
Pretty much like in the state, I was. I would say so there's a Legends Tour, and it's top. It was like top 28 in the state. Played in the Jackie Burke Cup, so I played on the Jackie Burke Cup team. I don't remember I don't ever remember having like a super high rank or anything, but I was playing. Now he was 12 years old, but I was playing against Scotty Scheffler and stuff like that whenever he was, starting out.
Spieth?
Spieth, Zalatoris, those guys. But obviously they took a left where I took a right somewhere, and I'm not saying that I have anywhere near that ability, but I tied Spieth one time.
What was the score when you tied him?
75.
See? So you were right there with him.
Yeah, but then he shot 68 the next day, and I shot like 77. So
Thanks a lot, Spieth. I knew I didn't like that guy.
no, he was cool.
I would say I'll vouch and say that you had the talent to hang with those guys.
Oh,
For
100%.
sure. You had the game.
Appreciate that.
Your high school coach came in one time, and Billy was trying to get now Clay. I've become pretty good buddies with Clay Mitchell,
Okay.
and Clay makes me laugh almost as hard as Billy used to make me laugh. So he's Martin's golf coach. And he comes in, he's like, that dadgum Martin board, and I'm being real nice. Because we'd be bleeping the crap out of this thing if I quoted him directly. But we were talking about the team, And I was like, you got any good players? He goes, that dadgum Martin Board, if he had a brain in his head, we'd win state. You know? And he was just, but he went on and on and on about your talent. He always talked about just how talented you were. He even talked about work ethic. Would you say you were a hard worker?
Depended on kind of where I was at with my game. Like sometimes I was out there from sun up, sundown, and sometimes I was just at the house. Like just, I'd say that's one of my flaws. I didn't put as much work in as I probably could have. But when I got to college is when I really started working hard. And
Well, you have to, right?
yeah,
I mean, you showed up Division I.
yeah, I mean, our schedule in college was a pretty big culture shock for me. I was used to waking up at 8 for school, getting there, going to practice in the afternoon for a couple hours, and we get to college and we got 5:30 weights class from 8 to 12, and golf from 1 to, and it was a 45-minute drive to the course, 1 to 6. Then we had to do study hall 6 hours a week, all this stuff. And man, y'all know me well enough to know that was, it was a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
It was like 14-hour days, which it's all about discipline, right? And it wasn't, I'm not saying it was bad. It was hard for me. I wasn't very good at that type of deal. I was
Sure.
good at doing things on my own time. And, but I learned a lot in college though, for sure. My coaches were, I had a British Open champion as one of my coaches, and
who was that?
Bill Rogers.
Really?
Yeah. Turned into a sponge around him. I tried to learn everything, and he sought me out, really. He was the one that actually kind of got me to go there. And he
Did we mention where it was? UTSA, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
We didn't say that.
No,
Santone.
Santone
Yeah.
UT.
UTSA.
Yeah, he was down there, and man, he was the best. I would seek him out for anything, whether it was personal, golf. Obviously, he was #1 player in the world in the 80s. It doesn't matter if he's 60 or he was there. He did it. And
I think we asked you when you were there. You'd come back for the summer, and we'd ask, like, did you hold the replica claret jug? And you would
yeah.
tell us you did all the time.
I got a picture somewhere.
Yeah,
It's
of you
cool.
holding it. Yeah. I want to ask this because transitioning. You said something interesting. Transitioning out of high school into college and the work ethic or the difference between what you did in high school versus what you did in college. Where would you say you saw the most improvement? Was it in your, say, the life skills or the golf side of it?
I mean, honestly, dude, in college, I had one good, really just decent year playing. I kind of got into like we talked about earlier, kind of a mental, just bad spot with my game.
Yeah.
Like my freshman year, I got down there. I don't know. I didn't really feel like it was from the adjustment from moving away and being on my own for the first time, but I could not break 80 basically. I got the snap hooks. I don't even like saying that word because I just had them and it kind of gives me
EBGBs.
It gives me anxiety. but yeah, so I get up on the tee box with the driver my freshman year in the fall, and it's almost hit me in the left foot.
It's going so
It's
hard
going
left.
so far left, and that happened for 3 months. And obviously, those fall semesters pretty short. You're going from August to November.
Yeah.
So I go home. I come back and I ended up redshirting in the fall because coach was like, "Hey man, we're gonna have to just chill and we'll catch you next year." Type deal.
Yeah.
Just work on your game. He was like, "I know that you got the game. You just got to. People do this all the time. Like Jonathan Moore. I don't know if y'all know him. He played for Oklahoma State. He was kind of did the same type of deal. He was shooting in the 90s and he ends up winning a national championship after that. He was just in a mental spot of just negativity. I can't do it. I'm terrible. Because whenever you see so many shots like that, you just start thinking man, do I suck? Am I? Is this where I'm supposed to
Why
be?
can't I do this anymore? Yeah.
Because in it, golf is so cyclical. You have days where you're
It's the greatest thing
I'm
ever.
gonna go try and Monday qualify for a tour event, but then like other days are like, dude, I'm gonna get beat by a 10 handicap today.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's so huge, though, man. You know, because Rich touched on it a little bit,
Yeah.
right? But, man, people don't realize. And again, if you're out there just going, man, why doesn't my game progress? Well, a lot of it's mental. A lot of it is. A lot of it's, you know, you've got to believe. Some people look at golfers and say, man, they're the cockiest, most arrogant, you know, people in the world. No, they're not.
They
No,
just
they're
believe
not.
in themselves.
Well, they have to.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You're not arrogant when you have to be that way. Does that
Sure.
make sense?
Absolutely.
When it's more confidence based, you know, it stops being arrogance at that point. But I think when you have a humble person like Martin, right? I think that those types of dynamics are harder for a guy like yourself because you are a very humble, very awesome person away from the golf course. Thank you. You're a great father, great husband. I mean, you do everything the right way is what I'm getting at. And so being arrogant really wasn't on your radar, even back when, you know, you were leaving high school to college. I wouldn't ever say that he was cocky or arrogant. He was always just Martin.
You're just Martin. Yeah.
You know, and I think if you would have channeled that, there would have been something really special there. I mean, Les Lettingham, he's from the DFW area. He played at Wesleyan. That guy could have made it. All right. His best friend, Jared, he did make it. But even Jared would tell you, Les should have made it. You know, you and Les were very similar in that regard. He was way more mentally midget. You know,
He has way more sets of irons than I do.
yes, but the biggest thing for him was, and he would tell you, like if he had to make a decision, right? For example, the caddy's sitting there, he just wants the caddy to hand him an 8-iron. But if it's him making that decision, he would say, "Is it a little feathered 6? Is it like a draw 7, or is it like just a smashed 8 that's gonna sling hook in there?" Like, and then he was paralyzed. He couldn't make the decision, right? But he said, and I think this is one of the better compliments you can get. He said, just like Clinton was talking about earlier, the very first time he ever met you or saw you was out on a driving range prior to a tournament.
The Heatus.
And everybody stopped because Les stopped and his jaw hit the ground.
Yeah.
He said the sound those clubs were making was the same sound J.J. Henry's made, the same sound Mark Brooks made, the same sound that Jared used to make, so on and so forth. All these really good tour players that he knows, he compared your iron shots to. And he said, man, we all stood there. I could have watched him hit balls for an hour. It was insane. They were like little shotguns going off every 2 or 3 seconds, right? And he said, and then he hit his driver, and I just was like, oh, okay, he's human. And then walked off.
Oh yeah, the driver demons can get me pretty good.
Well, why is that?
I don't know, man. I think that's the problem is I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, right? Because, you know, you get there and you go, man, this guy is a great wedge player. He's a, you know, I would say you're a good putter.
Oh, that's definitely the best part of my game.
You know.
now. It wasn't before, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say now you're a great putter. You were a good putter. Now you're a great putter. Hey, your wedges are fine. Your irons are great. The driver, man. And you hit 3-wood, what, 360? I think he did hit one 330, 340 in the studio one day. I think that's true.
yeah,
He's a freak.
yeah.
Is it because you're trying to place it with the driver? Maybe I
don't know.
I'm trying to figure out like what is it that when the drivers start to look bad, why?
That's the magic question.
Yeah, you haven't really figured it out. You just
I just don't know. Like, if I start, you know, obviously I have my swing tendencies, right? And one of them is I take the club inside on the way back, and I just kind of lose the club head back here somewhere, and I won't save it, and I'll just hit like these big blocks, and they're gone.
They go.
They're gone.
Yeah, they go.
And or I'll hit those quick hooks because I'm trying to flip it and
Trying to save it.
yeah, I mean, like sometimes it's just kind of like I said, it's cyclical. It comes in waves. Like if I'm hitting my driver good, probably gonna play good.
Yeah, but this is relative, right? Because to say that he mishits his driver, or that's
It's
few and far between.
It's hit solid.
Yeah,
But
it's few
just-
and
Well,
far between.
that's what
yeah.
I was just about to say.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at his irons, you look at his wedges, you look at his fairway wood, you look at his driver, okay? Every single one of them has a spot about that big.
Yeah,
I mean, he hits it pure every time. There's no dispute about that,
yeah.
right?
In the game of misses, the driver would be the problem child.
Correct. But we're not sitting here saying he misses
Yeah,
14
yeah,
drives
yeah.
around.
Yeah,
We're saying it's that one or two drives, that cost you that score. A funny story about Martin and Clinton. You'll have to remind me of the final number. It was the day that he had the putt for double league on number 9. But if I'm not mistaken, you made a bogey and a double, or 2 bogeys and a double, and shot 63. Was it that?
it was
day?
stupid. Yeah, it was low 60s.
Yeah, 63 or 2. I can't remember. But you had 2 bogeys and a double, or a bogey and a double. I mean, I just can't remember. Yeah. But you had 2 holes where it was like, who the crap? What? Who are you, and what happened with Martin, right?
To show just how stupid it was, on one of the 9s was a 29.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the back 9, I'm pretty sure, because...
R.I.P. Nueva.
Yeah.
God rest her soul.
But dude, we all talk about, okay, well, Nueva was a fast, hard golf course, pretty easy, whatever. But as you proved, if you hit it in the wrong spot, it's penalizing.
Yeah,
right?
There's a lot of just trash out there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's where your bigger scores came from, was just from, an errant shot here or there. So it still was penalizing.
Yeah.
So you can sit here and tell me that it was easy. What I'm saying to you is, you went out there and did what every tour player would do. You shot a low 60s round.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody needs to understand. There's a huge gap between professionals and the best amateur you can find. There's a huge gap there.
Yeah.
Rob Couture, he was at a DFW when we played with Sabatini that day. Sabatini had never seen or played at the Tribute in Dallas yet. Okay? Sabatini goes out there, sight unseen, shoots 65. Now, Couture shoots 67, which is a great round, but he played out there all the time. Rob was the number 1 amateur in the DFW area at that time, and very high up there in the state. And Sabatini was a tour pro. And
not even the best tour pro.
no, but there was a huge difference, right?
There's a big, big, big difference. Like Phil talked about it. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was like the difference between like a tour player and a 0 handicap is like way bigger than the difference between a 0 and like a 10 handicap. Like a 0 and a 10, like obviously it's 10 shots, right? But like your tour player is just like so much better than that. Right?
Well, they're not going to come out here and play any golf course and not get it low. I mean, well, a great example, and you know this, Midland Country Club.
Web.com.
Yeah, man. I mean, the
The
finals.
nationwide tour, yeah.
Well, I mean, 24, 25 under.
The one year was over 30.
yeah.
And then the craziest part about
And that's
that,
Midland Country Club, dude. We all look at that course as, bro, it's brutal.
and the craziest part is those are the guys that aren't even on the big tour.
That's where I'm going.
That was the
right?
Corn Ferry at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those guys are like, and it's crazy because like you think like there's 72 holes in a professional event. Those guys are shooting like you said 24, 25 under. Like they're just not doing the right thing at the right time because it makes no sense because like Tiger Woods in 2000 probably isn't going to come to Midland Country Club and shoot 20. Like he won't shoot better than 25 under. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But those guys are doing it like every week. Like those dudes are tearing it up, and somehow they're not on the big tour. And I just don't. I never understood that. I mean,
Well, it's become the hardest professional sport, in my opinion, to get into. I mean, that's just a fact.
yeah.
I mean, to get on the PGA Tour now is as hard as it's ever been. And this, this will start, if we let it, this will start a whole, rabbit hole. But I'll just give you my quick thought on it and see what you think. I thought Liv was a great opportunity. Because, and the PGA obviously finally came to their senses and got in on it, right? But they played this tradition game. Listen, man, this ain't tradition anymore. It's not like it used to be to get on the PGA Tour. You can't just go and Monday qualify out of nowhere and somehow get status unless you're just a diamond in the rough, right? It's super rare.
Oh, yeah.
Super rare. Like 1 in a zillion rare, right? But I thought Liv could be a great catalyst for some of those players, that are on the Korn Ferry now that like you're saying, they shoot great numbers, but they're just not doing it at the right time.
Right.
Why not set up a league like Liv, right? To where those players, and by the way, like the lower 50, because we all see those tournaments, right? Where, you look down the leaderboard and there's like 5 or 6 clowns that shoot 81 and they get cut because the next day they come back and shoot 75. You see what I'm saying? Well, those guys aren't in a good mental place. So what do you have to do? Send them to Liv. Give them a guaranteed deal. Send them to Liv. Let them work through that against some great tour pros that have already signed with them, right? Let them work their way through that. And then when they're ready, bring them back.
Yeah.
And while you have that, you have a great minor league system as well, where all of those aspiring players could be playing with DJ and some of those guys, right? And Phil and so on and so forth. I just thought it was a great opportunity. What was your thought on Liv?
Man, there's so many theories out there on it. And I never honestly got too deep into the weeds on like what they did. Obviously, they were throwing crazy money at those guys.
Would you have taken it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's life changing.
it's generational
guys
money,
like-
bro.
Yeah.
guys, especially guys that are like, a lot of those guys were doing well. Like they had their cards, they were making plenty of money. Like, but they basically, let's say a guy's making $5 million a year, which it's great living, right?
No doubt.
But then they throw him 80 million in one day, and you're like, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Or 600 million.
Well, yeah, your Roms and your
I'm thinking like those guys, they had done it all. They had won the majors. They had been the number ones in the world. They had great careers already. And now it's the point like, well, like Jared said, let me think about my kids' future and their kids' future. This is going to change generations. And I get to still play golf for a living. And it's more of an exhibition style where I'm playing with buddies every week. Let's go do it.
wearing shorts.
Listen to music.
Well, again, if it's channeled right, this presents a huge opportunity for the PGA Tour if it's channeled properly.
Yeah, like a G League.
If the PGA Tour would have just got behind it initially instead of playing the tradition game. And, dude, they got so many people. You know how all of us are. We read the news, we're scrolling, we're doing this. You're influenced by all this garbage. Dude, the PGA Tour tried to play the tradition card and, well, golf's special because it's the only sport where you have to work for your money. Well, wait a minute. Not having guaranteed money, you're the only professional sport that doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here? You want the cream of the crop. You want to use their name, their image, their likeness, right? We've seen this in college now. They're paying for that, which I don't necessarily agree with. But my point is there is something to name, image, likeness, right? I mean, the PGA Tour's ratings
Are based
on Scotty Scheffler now. Mm-hmm. That's just a fact, Jack. And they're still 30, 40% lower than they were with Tiger.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Put that in perspective.
I still think somebody paid that cop. The PGA paid that cop to rip him out of the car.
Ooh, there's another rabbit hole.
Wow. That's a hot take.
Out of left
The tables
field,
have
here
turned
comes
and they're not
Clinton.
coinciding.
Here comes Clinton out of left field.
There
I'm
he
just
is.
saying, he said Scotty Scheffler in ratings.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if
so,
Scotty would have
okay,
signed up
you're
for
saying
that.
it was a ratings ploy.
I think the PGA.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
Well,
He did
yeah.
shoot 65 or 66 that day, so it didn't. I don't know, man. There's just that sounds kind of like we got conspiracies coming out now.
I just,
We could do a whole 5-hour show
on that,
on
for sure.
conspiracies.
I don't know, man.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, Scotty, he played like shit on Saturday.
He's so good though.
Oh, I know, but like, I don't know. I think that he got mentally just drugged through the mud on.
Absolutely.
He was still kind of running on adrenaline on Friday's round.
Mm-hmm.
Shoots 66, gets home, kind of like decompresses, and like he's like, "Holy shit, I was in jail this morning. What the hell's going on?"
Yeah. Absolutely.
And he didn't play good on Saturday, and I mean, and then he shoots 65 Sunday? Is that what he shot?
Yeah, he almost came back and
And, well, he ended up 7 back, but it's because he shot 3 over on Saturday. If he shoots another 66 or whatever, that's 8. So he's he's at 21. He ties.
Right
I mean,
there.
and there's whenever he's in the mix, like you got nowhere to hide from that guy.
absolutely not.
Like he's like a tiger, and you're like a wounded impala.
Bro, did you see the shot he hit at Augusta?
Which one?
It was on Sunday.
Did I say line? Did I say line?
But bro, but the other thing was way better.
Okay,
Yeah.
that works.
What did he say?
He said tiger,
Yeah, but it was a
a
wounded,
wounded impala.
impala.
I don't think tigers eat impalas. Those are different.
they
those
would.
are different continents.
It's
The
all
lions
right.
do though. I don't know.
It's all good.
It sounded good in my head. I think
it was perfect.
I think I maybe was thinking about Tiger Woods and
And
just
then an
kinda-
impala
and then
jumped into your
Impala came
mind.
in, just-
yeah, wounded impalas.
to go back to the ADD thing they were talking about earlier, I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
my brain was just spinning right there.
Lion, impala.
Yeah,
What shot did he hit on Sunday?
It was on 15.
Okay.
The amount of brass balls that he had to pull out a club and go for it.
15.
Yeah, he was like
Oh, yeah.
220 maybe, 230, I can't remember. But Scotty just nuts. He doesn't lay up like everybody else was doing.
Just goes right at it.
He just went right at it. And he knew if, worst case scenario, if I miss it just a little right, I'm cool. I've got plenty of real estate over there. And then, of course, that's what he ended up doing. And then he gets up and in. And I mean, dude, to hit that shot, I mean, with a long iron, I think it was a 5-iron, under pressure. I mean, dude, you miss that shot and hit it in the water, you could lose the Masters. He didn't care.
oh, you're talking about Augusta right now.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the PGA. I was about to be like, well, he didn't really have anything to lose because he
Yeah.
was so far back.
No, yeah, at Augusta.
No,
Okay,
the shot off 15 at Augusta
Yeah,
on the final day.
I think that
He didn't get a lot of credit for that, but that was a hell of a shot.
I mean, a guy like him, like whenever he's dialed in, like he's not worried about where he's missing it.
Well, to you, like a 5-iron's like an 8-iron, right? Like it's as easy to hit as an 8-iron.
Depends. I wouldn't say necessarily that would be the case, but obviously you got more speed with the 5-iron, more things can go wrong. But yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy.
But I hit my 5-iron right in the middle every time, so it's whatever.
That is not true. Sometimes it may be good. Sometimes
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes maybe not.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
I want to ask this question. What is your low round? The lowest you've ever gone?
Well, that day, Nueva was definitely the lowest. I mean, I think it was 63.
Yeah.
Shot that a few times, but I don't know. I just never really shot a ton of low scores. I shot a lot of scores around par, a couple under par. If I played really good, I'd shoot 66 or 7. I mean, I never really posted low numbers in tournaments, but I would put together 3 good days.
Yeah.
Shoot 7 or 8 under for 3 days. A couple qualifiers in college, which weren't really tournaments. My sophomore year was my best year for sure in college, and shot a bunch of low scores that year in mid 60s. But yeah, super low scores. Never really shot a bunch of them, but shot a few.
Yeah.
It feels cool to go out there and shoot in the low 60s. It's not something that happens very often for sure.
Yeah.
That's what makes you such a good 2-man partner, though, man. I mean, you make so many birdies. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can, I'll shoot 70 with 8 birdies.
Yeah.
And that is, like you said, for these 2-mans, I got somebody to rely on. And so I think that's kind of, I learned about myself. I didn't play in any 2-man tournaments until after college. Like, whenever I feel like I have somebody to fall back on, like, 2-man event, for anybody that doesn't know how they work, low ball, like, it's 2-man team, 1 score per hole. Like, I could make a 14 and my partner makes a 2 and we get to take a 2.
Yeah.
And I think mentally for me that helps me a lot, because especially if I have a really good player with me,
Lifts a lot of pressure.
I kind of had an epiphany one day. I was like, why didn't I just feel like I had somebody else with me playing?
Yeah. I mean, you
'Cause
did have a team, right?
Yeah, but
At UTSA?
but per hole, like, I have somebody that their score counts for that hole too.
Yeah.
Like, my score counts on every hole if I'm playing on a college golf team or whatever.
Yeah.
My 70 or my 18 hole score counts. My 18 hole score doesn't count in these.
Yeah.
Just if I have a lower score, like, I get to take that.
You were thinking, why don't I have the mindset in these college tournaments that I did have somebody else that
Exactly.
was,
Like a scramble, even. Like, I hit some of my best drivers whenever I'm playing a scramble because I got somebody in the fairway.
Yeah.
But dude, if I get up on the tee and it's a scramble, it doesn't even matter. Like, if I got somebody in the fairway, like, I just get up there and hit it as hard as I can, and it's normally pretty good. But if I don't have anybody in the fairway and I'm last,
There's so much pressure.
I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do?
Hit a 5-iron to the
And then I'm like, all right, give me my 2-iron. I'm just gonna hit one in the fairway because stuff like that. I think that's just part of my mental drawback is I get scared.
Wasn't it at Hogan on Roadrunner and you didn't even pull your driver out at all?
Dude,
You hit all 2 irons?
I played in the city tournament in like 2012. I didn't even have a driver in my bag.
why? Not why didn't you, but like, why would you out there, right?
Well, that's kind of was my reasoning, right? Like, I don't really need it. I was hitting these. I had a 2-iron, and I was hitting like these like low hooky like stinger shots. And they were, it was summer, it was firm. They were rolling out to like 290, and I shot like 67 one day without even touching a wood. I didn't even have a wood in my bag. I just had like 5 wedges and a 2-iron. And it's because like I can hang on to the wheel of a 2-iron. Like, sometimes I feel like I can't hold the wheel of a driver, like, metaphorically,
Interesting.
of course. But
yeah.
Some days, like, when I've got my partner and my partner always hits first, if he's in the fairway, it's like I'm playing a scramble but I'm not. We're playing our own ball, but I feel more comfortable.
Gives you the confidence.
It just gives me that feeling of like security. Like, all right, my pods is in the fairway. I'm going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, there's guys like, when Spieth was winning, like, when he was going through his deal where he was winning everything, like, won the Masters and the U.S. Open the same year, and he had to have just been like blacking out. Honestly, I think that's the way you play the rest, is you just black out. You wake up like, what happened? It's like, oh, here's the green jacket. It's like, shit, let's go. Like, those guys are so dialed in, and they're like, they're blocking out any distractions. Like, and like, it's a skill that's like hard to, I don't even think you can teach it. I think you just like, your brain just functions.
Just happens. Yeah.
And unfortunately for me, I just didn't have that synapse response. But some days it's good, and obviously I'm super happy with how my life turned out. If I could have played the tour, that would have been cool, but got a great family now, two little girls, and get to play golf for fun and for work even. But yeah, it's
well, and there's some pretty big stuff coming up. Like, this week's Quarter Century Week.
Quarter Century Week.
Biggest tournament in West Texas.
Do you buy yourself?
I'm too scared.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to go for 110,000 or 20,000 or 50,000. I mean,
It's biggest tournament in West Texas.
yeah.
quarter century. There's 5 really, right? There's the classic, the quarter century, the gusher, the help me,
Stampede is
Stampede.
2 weeks ago.
And then there's one more at Green Tree.
How'd you fare in the
Gusher.
Stampede?
Jamboree, yeah.
Oh, dude, that was one of my mental weeks. Bad, not good. Me and my pod struggled, but you know, it kind of sucked because we won that tournament twice. Me and my partner Farrell, and it was the last Stampede, you know, because they're bulldozing it in the fall.
Brilliant.
And we were, well,
Isn't that
there's
brilliant?
another rabbit hole we could go down.
Yeah,
but-
no joke.
But yeah, you know, I was, and you know, my expectations have been pretty low. I've got a 6-month-old daughter that, you know, obviously needs a lot of my attention, and a 2-year-old daughter as well, and she's a little Martin. You know. My mom always told me, she's like, you're gonna, you know, how I act as a child. She's like, you're in for it if your kids are anything like you were. You're in for it. And I'm starting to see it.
Yeah.
Her new favorite saying is, "I don't want to."
Oh,
So I got that going for me, which is nice.
Yeah.
I don't want to. It's like, oh boy,
What's your response?
that's my little girl, man. I can't really get too mad at her for anything. You know, I kind of let my wife deal all that. She bosses her around. If it was my son or something, if I had a son, I would probably be harder on him. But man, it's your little girl.
Yeah.
You got one, or you got 2.
I have 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is. You're probably way harder on your boy than you are on your girls.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. It changes as they get a little older. Ari is my oldest, and she's got that little sass thing working now.
Yeah. Maybe
I'm
she's a
like,
little
girl,
bit
you
older.
better
She's
watch
8?
that mouth. Huh?
She 8?
Yeah. She's 8, and she's getting a little brave. Sometimes you got to knock them down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of. I'm not there yet. She's only 2. She's like 2 1/4, if you would call it that.
Yeah, they're your angel, and you're absolutely correct. You let mom handle it until they're about 4, and then here it comes.
Yeah. No, I'm
Ain't that right?
Yeah, I mean, my girls are 5 and 2, or 5 and 3 now, and that 5-year-old is
That's about when it changes.
starting to really get that attitude.
5, 6 years old, they start getting their little personalities going, and then it's on like Donkey Kong.
Then we have a preteen in the house with my son. He's 12.
Yeah.
Puberty has hit full, and
Now you're an idiot, right? You don't know anything.
I'm an idiot, but you know, I will say these are probably the best years with Jackson because he's super chill
Yeah.
and like the attitude's there, but man, he's so cool. Like he's just chill and takes a lot to set him off now, and he just does his thing.
Yeah.
Pretty cool to watch.
That's awesome.
Kids are incredible.
I don't even know what we were talking about. We started talking.
No,
about
we
kids.
were talking about this. We were talking about the Stampede, and you said my focus isn't so much on the golf thing right now. You know, you got a 6-month-old daughter, 2-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
Your focus is more so family, and then when you get to play golf, cool, I get to play.
Yeah, like I catch and I'm super busy at work. You know, things are going good there, but I find myself, I got these tournaments coming up, and it'll be 4 days before the tournament, and I'm like, I haven't hit a golf ball in like 2 weeks. I look up and time has just flown by.
Yeah.
And I just don't have the available time that I used to go practice. I could, whenever I was in college, I could just wake up at 8, go to the course, and
Play all day.
or practice for 10 hours.
Yeah.
Now, is Mama pretty supportive of like practice time and stuff? Like if you obviously with a 6-month-old, it's a little different.
Yeah.
But
she's very supportive of my golf. Like,
Yeah, it's quarter century week.
obviously it's a lot. Like, I play in like 13 or so tournaments every year, and it gets to be a lot. Like, I play in one in Houston. It's 4 days. It's Thursday through Sunday. And she never says I can't go do it, but obviously she's got 2 kids by herself for 4 days, and I kind of it's hard on me too because I'm I feel bad that I'm like leaving for that long, but she never really complains about it. She, like this week, the QC's coming up. She's like, when are you gonna like go practice? Like, you need to like do something.
That's awesome. Yeah.
No, she's great. She's great. She really is. She's a trooper for sure. She kind of, there are times where it gets to be a lot. Like if I have like July is going to be super busy. I got like 3 tournaments in July. Towards the end of those 3 tournaments, she's probably going to start getting a little worn out, but she supports me, and
It's normal. Yeah.
oh, yeah. It's very.
It's
normal
funny,
response.
like Dub Huckabee that we just had to deal with. His wife Tamra, and I'm not gonna I don't want to butcher the entire story, but basically it comes down to this: they were together when Dub was younger, at Arizona State, and the way I understood it was basically Dub was going to try the pro. He did some professional golf, and he was going to, continue that journey. But he got to the point as a man that he was like, man, I gotta make money. I can't just sit here and chase a pipe dream. I gotta go get to work and so on. And it led to them breaking up. And do you know why? She said, I didn't sign up to be with an oil guy. I signed up to be with a professional golfer, and that's what I expect you to go do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty freaking cool. And it came full circle, bro. Now they're married.
Yeah.
After all those years, they came right back together. And, man, behind every great player,
There's a great woman.
you'll see it. There's a woman like that supports them and so on. So, and you're very blessed in that regard, man. I mean, you got a great wife, awesome, 2 little awesome girls, and you, my friend, I've seen you in action. You're a good daddy, and the fact that you think about things like that makes you a great husband as well. So, I mean, did I just get jealous? I mean, he's a great golfer, got a great job,
Great wife.
great wife, great kids.
Great
He's a great
dad.
dad. Do I suck at life?
Heck no. No.
Relax.
Brad, chill
Take
out.
it easy.
Take it easy.
That's awesome.
So you got you got quarter century this week. What does this week look like for you? I know you're busy, right? You all the
Yep.
dad stuff, but now that you've settled into that life, what would the practice look like this week?
So tomorrow, me and my partner, Brian Shear, we're going to play at MCC to just kind of, we haven't even played together in maybe twice this year.
Yeah. Break the ice
He just
off.
had a baby too. He's got a 4-month-old daughter. I mean, we're obviously in our, we're in our dad era. Like there's just-
prime.
There's yeah. I mean, and it's awesome. We love it. And our 2 youngest girls are 2 months apart, so it's perfect.
That's cool.
We hang out all the time, and we're trying to get them hanging out, and
Yeah.
they're just doing their little 4-month, 6-month-old deal. Bah. But it's awesome, but so we're playing tomorrow to kind of, I played last week twice for work and kind of used it as a double whammy,
Sure.
work, and actually ended up playing really, really good. So it kind of gives me some confidence going this week. So we're playing tomorrow, and then probably try and get out and do some short game work in the afternoons and tee it up Thursday. I probably won't play much this week, but I'll go out there and
A lot of repetition and
So is
sharpen
Thursday
some
like a
rules.
practice round, or is it
round 1.
round 1?
Wednesday would be a practice round, but since I'm going to miss Thursday, Friday, I got so much
So it's
stuff to do.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to miss, since I'm missing Thursday, Friday, I'm going to try and knock some stuff out, from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day, and maybe go hit some putts and some wedges in the afternoon before I got to go home and help out with the girls. So
maybe walk the Judy a few times.
maybe do lunch over there or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of get the scoring tool sharp,
Yeah.
get that putter rolling. It's been
I
pretty
still
good.
have that glorious putter you gave me.
You still using it?
It had to get put up for a minute.
It's in timeout.
It's in timeout, but
Man, Nothing.
I was looking at it just a couple nights ago because I was getting a putter out that I was going to send to these guys, which, by the way, I should give them a shout out. It's straight butter putters.
Straight butter putters.
Butter putters.
Link will be in the description.
Dude, they do amazing work on restorations and
And
stuff.
they're quick.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 2 weeks or a week, whatever it was.
Dang. Really?
So
It came
fast.
back quick.
Yeah, man.
The fastest I've ever heard is like 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah. And I'm telling you, the work they do on Scott, you got to check out their site, dude. They got a Facebook that they do most of their business off of.
Straight butter putters.
Yeah, man. And those guys are just awesome. But
Would you say that they're straight butter?
they are straight butter. You know what happened with that putter? And I still use your line all the time because I can't stop doing it. I'm the worst putter in the world. But Tommy Hammerhands.
Tommy Hammerhands.
Yeah, Tommy Hammerhands. I don't know why. I do it all the time. But anyway, I was looking, I was grabbing a putter that I'm going to send them, and then I saw her in there. And it says old Martin board with the UTSA colors.
Oh, yeah.
It's freaking sweet, man.
Oh, that was a good
That one I can't ever get rid
That
of.
was a good gift. That was a good gift.
It was a good one. I can't believe you don't want that thing.
I got it. I got a putter that's solidly in the bag.
Yeah, forever.
What are you gaming now?
It's a it's basically a Spieth replica kind of. It doesn't have the same stampings, but it's a 009. It's
Circle T?
yeah. It's made a lot of birdies.
I used to get so mad because I like putters and I like golf clubs.
What?
No.
And Martin used to come in the shop with some of the coolest stuff.
Well, it's because I spent all my money that I made here on golf clubs.
No, but I'm not. I'm not just talking about random golf clubs. You would come in with tour issue stuff,
Oh, yeah.
and I used to get so mad because he'd walk in and he'd be like, "I got the Circle T shaft. I need to put it in my Scotty," and it'd have like the Circle T stamp on the grip, the Circle T shaft band. I'm like, "Where do you get this stuff?" Well, I bought it.
Yeah,
Well, how
eBay.
much was that?
eBay.
How much was that shaft, Martin? Well, $600 for a putter shaft.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Might
it
have
was
been like 200. I don't remember.
No, it was a very expensive Circle. It had the red dancing Scotty Cameron grip with the Circle T stamp on the grip, and then the shaft band.
I can't. That's dumb. I can't believe I did that.
It was very expensive, but you would come in with the coolest tour issue stuff, like even fairway woods and drivers, and
I just always liked they do make them a little bit different out there.
sure,
They do,
yeah.
and I just always like to have that. I don't know. Like,
Well, you were one of the few that could actually hit it.
maybe.
Does it give you more confidence as a player, as a good player, to have more of the tour quality stuff? I mean, does
Well,
it make you feel like,
I wouldn't
okay, this
necessar-
is going to be reliable?
I wouldn't necessarily say that because obviously the clubs that you get here are the same. Like they're made in the same place. They're just they make them different. It's all about confidence. Like if I feel like I'm gonna like it better, so that equates to confidence for me.
Sure.
And there's all kinds of different things they do, face angles and because most stuff you get off the rack is gonna be like a little closed. And
Yeah, it's not a bougie thing though. It's more of a
no, not
confidence thing.
Yeah.
It's like
Not at
you're
all.
willing to spend a little bit more to have that kind of stuff just because, right? Just because it's confidence.
At all. Yeah, because if I'm gonna play better, it's worth it to me.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with
That's one of the reasons we started doing the component stuff, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, that
big
is
time.
one of the main reasons is because it is definitively different.
better. Yeah.
It's just better. They're heavier heads,
Yeah, like I don't care what they look like. The look of it, like you said, it has nothing to do with because most people are going to look at that and be like, "Oh, that's a QI10,"
Yeah.
but so that doesn't matter to me. If I'm going to play better with it, it doesn't matter if it's better or not. If I can feel like it's better, it's
Yeah.
better.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. By the way, Clinton, I counted, and I may have miscounted, but I believe you have around 18 putters in your office right now and in this podcast room. 18, bro.
Are those revolving? Do you put them in the bag?
There's only like 2.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only two that he just likes the look of these others, I guess.
Dude, it comes down to the confidence with.
I mean, they
any
do look
club.
nice.
I don't understand. Like, I could again. I'll say this again. I could be spending my money on crack cocaine. I spent it on putters.
That's a good point.
I
Yeah,
like
the thing
putters.
about, especially like putters. You know, if you're looking at the money of it, if you get a good putter, like it's not gonna kill you.
No,
to have
no.
it, like crack cocaine will.
Connor, do you think he has too many putters?
No.
Are you just saying that?
What do you think? He needs a few more?
I think he needs quite a few more.
I mean, the thing that's amazing about Clinton, and I will say this because it's the absolute truth. If somebody walked in and, just really needed a putter, he'd walk back here and get it for him.
I'd give any of these away,
Yep. That's just the kind of guy he is.
except one. There's one I wouldn't give away.
Which one?
It's the Rossi I played with in middle school. It's a dual force Rossi. I played with it in middle school, cut it down, and it's extended back out.
Is
I
that
played
the
with-
blackhead?
No, it's
The DF?
It's got the black face, right?
black face.
Black face. Yeah, okay.
I played with it in middle school, then extended it out for high school. Played all high school with it. And
Isn't that
it's
cool?
sitting right over there. I would
That's
never give
awesome.
that putter away.
I'm taking it with me.
You can borrow it. I just need it back.
You know, my
just
uncle,
kidding.
my uncle Tom always told me, Jared, when we walk into this golf shop, you're going to want something. My best advice is do not get rid of your old stuff because one day you'll go back to it.
There is a
Yeah, that putter that I have, nobody's ever. Getting
Yeah.
that.
there's a Grell putter for me, and I've looked at it for probably 15 years now. It is a Laguna 2 Circle T Laguna 2. That it's the Newport Select. You remember the old? Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a Laguna 2 Circle T that was Brad Faxon.
Good putter.
Yeah, that's the Grell for me.
Laguna 2
You have that?
Circle T.
No, I want it. That would be my Grell putter. Is a Brad Faxon Laguna 2.
Yeah, Brad Faxon's a good putter, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, what is that? Is that what? I mean, how much are those?
like $4,000.
You're kidding me.
No, sir.
Laguna 2
Dude, Circle
Circle
T's
T.
have gone through the roof.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep, I've looked at it
Well,
for like 15 years now.
I'll tell you why I think that's happened is I think because Scotty doesn't do many of his own things anymore, right? So the Circle T's are still something that's handmade. So I think collectors about the only collector piece that's like limited release or special edition from Titleist would be the My Girl that still has a ton of value. You know what I'm saying? But most of those guys, I mean, they've even quit buying the quick release. I mean, they still sell them pretty quick because there's insane collectors out there. But for the most part, those putters really aren't worth much more than what the people pay for them.
Yeah, there's nothing handmade.
But
about
the
them.
Circle T's,
Yeah, they do that lottery once a week on Thursdays. You can get in at 10:45. The drawings by 11. They release 4 every week that start at $2,500. Sometimes go up to $8,000. You enter to buy, and
Yeah, but the resale market is crazy on them. Like that
It's-
$2,500 putter
it's
will be
worth-
on eBay later for 5,000 or
and
6,000.
sell and sell instantly.
Somebody's sitting there waiting for it. Yeah.
Yep.
It's just like the model he made was pretty wild. Like I got into collecting head covers and stuff for a while because I thought they were cool. Still have some, but head covers, dude.
$450.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
They may be like the cost might be $5 on that thing,
Oh yeah, to make.
maybe, and some of them are thousands.
Yes, sir.
what's
People
the
are paying
Grail?
thousands.
What's the Grail cover?
Man, I don't even know anymore. The Circle T ones are always expensive. Like
The Spieth Cherry Bomb Circle T is worth a lot.
probably like a couple thousand.
Yeah.
What
It's like,
about
where did this value come from?
Oh, I know one that's super valuable. Jared had it.
Trash can dog or
No. It was like a Hawaiian one. Like
I had one that was really, really rare. It's called the Greatest Hits. It was a black cover with Tiffany paint or Tiffany colored stitching with all of the characters on it, like all of his deals.
that's sick.
I got it for like $200, which was I was like pretty crazy to pay that, but I was like that thing looks cool. I'll collect it. I ended up selling it later just because I was like, why do I have all these things? I don't need these. And like 6 months later, it was $1,000. I was like,
Oh, you sold it before it went up.
oh yeah, I sold it for like 300, and now it's over 1,000. You can't even find them anywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, dang it. Yeah, that was one of my nerdy deals I did. I was like just on eBay, like buying and selling them. Like I had a spreadsheet and everything. But I did pretty well on them. I probably bought like 75 of them, and I still own about 20 of them. And from the ones that I sold,
You've paid.
I
for
paid for the ones I still have. I basically got 20 of them for free,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Jared, what was that story about you getting that guy's putter collection started whenever you were in Amarillo with the Scotty Camerons?
The Scotty Camerons.
You got that entire line, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that was my first ever sale in retail.
At Lisa's, he bought a whole line of Scotties.
And so it was the so it was the first of 5 series, and this was back when they would release 4 or 5 different putters. And this was a super limited deal because they were numbered. The guy came in looking for a studio putter. I was like, man, looks like I'm all out of them. And then just for some reason in my dome, I went, wait a minute, I know where some are. And I looked up and I was like, they're right there. And they were on this gun rack looking thing.
Run
right?
of first to 500s?
Being displayed, yeah. So I pulled one down. I got up on a ladder and pulled one down. And see, that's the one you want, isn't it? He's like, oh, dude, yeah. How much is this one? I was like, no clue. Let me go ask Lisa. So I go to the back. I said, hey, girl, what do you want for this? She goes, there's not a sticker on it? I was like, no, ma'am. She goes, that's the special edition ones. She goes, I'll sell the whole rack, and I'll even throw the rack in for free. But those right there are $1,500 a pop. And I went, okay. So I walked out there. I was like, $1,500, boss, but here's the bad news. You got to buy all of them. So you got to buy 4 of them. He's like, really? I was like, she'll only sell it as a set, man. But, dude, you know as well as I do, those are going to be worth something, man. Crap, $1,500? Imagine what that's going to be worth in 5 years. Keeping them in that case, you know. And the guy went, all right, I'll be right back. Dude walks out to his car, walks back in. He said, take them down. Let's go.
$6,000.
6 bills.
Peeled
on 4
off
putters.
$6,000 worth of honey buns, just quack, 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 quack. It's the first time I'd ever seen that kind of money, first of
Yeah.
all. Second of all, when he said, I'll take all of them, I went, really?
You were surprised, like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, what a great salesman.
Holy!
Really?
I don't even know how much these are.
Yeah.
Lisa, how much do you want for those?
I just walked out there and gave him the news, and I mean, he was all in.
Had to make the decision. Yeah.
So, you know, I felt like a hero. I walked back there, and I didn't even ring him up.
you just gave her the cash.
I just threw the cash on her desk, and I was like, do you want me to put that in the system? Or
Is that a
she's like, nope.
bonus?
Yeah.
That's for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. And so Connor, on that too, we had like, oh gosh, I bet Lisa had 10 or 15 My Girls and special editions that she sent down here
Yeah.
to Midland for me to sell for her. And dude, I had the 2009, 2010, and 2011, or it was like 2010, 11, and 12. I can't remember the exact years. My Girls, and I put them on eBay. Mm-hmm. And I felt so cool because I put them all in one package,
Yeah.
and I think I got $1,700 or $1,800 per putter.
Yeah. That little
I mean, it was crazy.
that little eBay deal we were doing there for a while, like 2011, 12, and 13. That thing was flowing.
Oh yeah,
It was booming.
Well, that was, you know, first of all, that was the eBay store before they put all these parameters
Yeah,
around it.
yeah.
You know, now it's just crazy. I mean, you're paying 18% or something
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's just, you know, it's almost not worth it when you're dealing golf clubs. You know, not for nothing. That's why I, you know, try to explain to people on the used equipment, right? Man, it just is what it is. eBay kills used equipment.
Yep.
It kills it.
Yeah.
And that's why the values are so low. We can get a little bit more in store for certain used equipment, right? But even if you have a brand new current iron, if it's been hit outside, even though you spent $1,400 on them, I get it. But on eBay, if they're used, you can buy them for $800-900.
Yep.
And if I have them out there on the used rack for $1,200 because I gave you $1,200, A, I make no money, and B, they'll never sell.
Yeah.
People aren't going to do that.
Yeah, the used club game's tough.
That's a tough game because here's the other thing, especially around here, as well as I do. If it says 1,200 and you can go over there and buy them for 14, people around here will just be like, well, screw it. I want the new ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Exactly.
Exactly right.
Wow. Well, Martin, I'm going to tell you something, dude. I'm really glad that I got to work with you for a long time. I'm even more glad that you're here today.
Yeah.
I think this is great. But I'm going to need you to do something for me.
Boy.
I need you to win the quarter century.
I would love to.
Can you do that for me?
I'm going to try my hardest.
Okay.
I've been trending in that one. We've gotten third 3 years in a row.
It's time to win it, bud.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the thing that'll send you over the edge if you'll just do it. Just buy your team. Might have to take out a second mortgage or something, but
Cash out refi, baby.
that's it, baby. But can you imagine how much money y'all are going to win when you win it? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Well, I don't win any money, just for the people out there that my amateur status.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
an interesting discussion, but we won't discuss that today.
No, sir. No.
I win pro shop credit.
That's true.
It's a lot of pro shop credit, and he's able to get him at least a driver and a putter if he wanted it, and
Golf balls.
some golf. Yeah, some lots of dozens of golf balls, and the quarter century. These tournaments, if you've never been to West Texas or even just researched West Texas, it's really 5 main golf tournaments out here that are just bozo crazy.
Yeah, but the QC takes the cake,
it does.
man.
It does.
It's like not even close.
It's really, really crazy.
It takes the cake. And Odessa Country Club runs a great event out there, man. That's a special deal.
It really is, and
And it's hard to get in, right, Martin? Like, I mean,
Impossible.
if you were to quit tomorrow and tell them, listen, we're not going to play this year, right? How long would it take you to get back in?
Well, the only reason I get to play is because my partner's past champion. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the Masters. Like if you win, you get to come back, and reasonably, right? Like
yeah,
and so I'm kind of just piggybacking off that, and we just happen to have, I think we would have got invited back even if he wasn't because we've finished third 3 straight years, and I mean, I would have never gotten in myself if I would have just called up a buddy that had never played and be like, hey, you want to play? Like, never would have gotten in.
Well, we were in the pro shop a couple weeks ago. We played on a Sunday there, and they have the quarter century plays list, and then they have the alternate list. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of people on that alternate list.
That's what I'm saying, man.
They did a whole big deal about it. A lot of the members have been like up in arms about all these people playing, and I mean, rightfully so, right?
There's some people from like DFW that get to play, right?
Yeah. Well, so for me, like the championship flight, if you want to have a big event like that,
You got to let people.
there's not just, you're not going to be able to make a huge flight with just like Midland, Odessa, like even Lubbock. Like you got to outsource a little bit to make a big competitive flight. Like there's 26 teams in the championship flight, I think, and there's not 26
which would be
caliber players.
52 play.
There's not 52 caliber players for that right here.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, for what they're gonna be up against.
Yeah,
right?
they can go shoot 25 under for 3 days. Like,
yeah.
and there's a lot of great players out here. Obviously, I just don't think that there's enough to fill that flight up as big as they have it.
Sure.
Out here, they got to go to send some invites to Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. There's a guy that comes in from Maryland. He's playing with my buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was smaller, like a lot of the flights are like 10 to 12 teams, like you can fill that up out here. You got good players up in, Lubbock, like Brady Shivers, those guys come down. Those guys are phenomenal players. But
Yeah.
you just don't have a ton of those guys to fill up that big of a flight
Sure.
out here. So, but yeah, a lot of the members get mad, and rightfully so. They want to play in their tournament. But like we were just talking about, championship flight, I feel like is kind of separate.
It's kind of off to the side.
That's a whole nother deal.
Because, yeah, it's, you got a bunch of guys that played professional golf in the day doing that. Like,
yeah.
and a lot of the members that aren't, and I don't want to like piss anybody off by saying this, but I'm just, this is how it kind of is. Like a lot of the members that are super mad, like they're never going to play in the championship flight, and it just kind of, it's tough to balance it all for the pros out there, because they're just trying to run the tournament to the best of their ability, and they do a fantastic job with it. But yeah, it's just kind of there's a lot of people that get a little mad about people that get to play, but
yeah, but that's, again, if they're in the championship flight, I mean, the rebuttal there is, well, listen, we'll put you in the championship flight. Go ahead.
yeah, I mean,
We got some room there. You want to play in that? Most people are going to say, well, heck no.
yeah.
I'm playing against Shear and Bort. No way. Or whatever, right?
I mean, yeah, the field is so strong. Like, that's one of the biggest ones. Like, every year, there's guys in there. You're like, gotta go play against that guy. Like,
Yeah, man. Dude,
Is that the one Dub and his dad won 5 times?
no, that was the Jam.
The Jamboree. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I would have to ask Dub. I don't know that he's ever played in the championship of the QC. I don't know. I know him and Rick have played in the QC, but I think they played more in the first flight.
Yeah. Gotcha. Cool.
I think. I'd have to ask him. But yeah, it's interesting.
Those events are crazy out here.
it's nuts.
Yeah, and it's a testament to this part of the world. And again, it goes back to, here's another great example, folks. Division I golfer right out of West Texas, okay? And well, they're out here.
They're out here.
Division I coaches, they're out here. Don't have to go to Europe every time. You can get them here, or South Africa, or wherever. You can get them right here in West Texas.
Homegrown. Yeah.
There's some, and I think Martin pointed out something really interesting with his UTSA journey, which is there's a lot of things that kids just through the maturation process are going to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They're going to get to college and they're going to get these workout programs and they're going to learn how to get mentally tough and they're going to learn how to play as a team. There's certain things, the cream always rises to the top.
Absolutely.
And I just wish more players out here got a shot, because there are some really special talents from this area
Yeah.
that, Martin, you can probably attest to this too. There's so many people in the game of golf. I mean, I could literally sit here until 6 o'clock today, which is about 8 hours away, and talk about how many players I know that coulda, shoulda, woulda made it if X, Y, Z. There's a lot of self-destructive folks in our game. And I used to say this as a golf pro all the time, and I'll stick to my guns here. There's 2 things that golfers are generally really good at. That's gambling and drinking. If you can do them 2 things, hey, but sometimes that gets too big. It gets, it takes away from the game.
Sure.
And there's a lot of players out there that I've seen, folks, that have played on the Tight Lies. They've, played on the old Web or the Nike or the Hooters tours, right? And guess what? They didn't make it because they got sidetracked. Life essentially got in the way because they weren't doing the focused things that you need to do for golf.
Sure.
They became professionals instead at gambling and drinking. And I'll tell you something, dude. Like my buddy Steven Russell, man, we call him Speedy, University of Houston, played there with Couples and Nance. Speedy made a pretty darn good living gambling golf.
There's some stories of the gambling that happens around here.
Oh, for sure.
mean,
For sure.
hundreds of thousands of dollars probably a week go off on a golf course
Oh
here.
man, there's a money game here, folks, that would blow your freaking mind.
Almost half a
You know.
million a couple months ago.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
Dude, Johnny Manziel came down and played in that deal. Okay, the Jet from the Mavericks came down and played in that deal. There were guys coming in. There was one story. This was back when Manziel was still playing here, but there was one story. A guy showed up with a briefcase and it had $1 million cash in it, and he said, "Let's go."
I believe that.
Yep.
And I just went, holy, well, he was like from Louisiana or something. He was from another state. And he was a friend of a friend of a friend, right?
Right.
Type of deal. But he showed up and he learned what these West Texas boys were all about.
Yeah, I never.
You know, it's different when you're putting for $500,000, Martin.
Oh, dude, I've never had that. I mean,
In a way, you have.
indirectly, not like that would
Yeah.
benefit or take away from me at all. But I mean, yeah, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I think I missed a putt last year that cost somebody $92,000 on the last hole.
Did you know that, though, at the time?
No, but
Yeah.
I figured it out after, and I was like, oh, and I lifted out. I was like, that was 92,000.
Oh, Wyndham Clark.
Not quite that much.
But you know what? It cost somebody else.
Yeah.
So even they even bet on the players.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, that's part of that. You know what? For the people that are beginning in this game, enjoy it because it is one of the finest games you'll ever play. And dude, there's this whole other culture behind it too, right? Of this camaraderie that guys develop, and they gamble what they're comfortable gambling. I wouldn't say that anybody's necessarily just out of their mind out here, but I mean, there's a couple that you go, how in the crap are you going to pay that much?
Yep.
But hey, we've had guys come in and buy new clubs because of their winnings. So it's, full circle. That works great. But,
What do you need to buy new clothes for if you're winning with them?
well,
Hey.
I mean, hey,
Got money to spend that mama don't know about.
That's right.
Cheeto cash.
that's right.
Yeah. She don't know about it. So
But no, man, this area has so many great players. Martin Board, I couldn't wait to have you on because you truly are one of the. I mean, I've done this for 25 years, man, and you're one of the finest players I've ever known,
yeah.
and even a more fine human being.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a fact. But you are one of the best players I've ever seen, and we've had knockdown, drag out arguments about it up here behind your back.
Yep.
And Andrew Wyatt, just so you know, Andrew, I love Andrew, and Andrew hits it probably as good as any human I've ever seen as well.
Ever.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a ball striking savant.
It's crazy.
But I'm telling you right now, and I'll argue it all day, Lucas McCubbin, great ball striker. They don't hit it like him.
Nope.
They don't hit it like him. Martin is different. I'm just telling you, the ball just travels. It goes further. And that's not to take away from Andrew. I mean, you could have covered the spot on Foresight with my thumb, people, with his driver swings. It was stupid.
Doesn't miss.
No dispersion. It's crazy. But Martin Board still holds the belt, in my opinion, for iron strikes.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's just my thought.
That's a pretty money compliment right there.
Yeah, well,
I appreciate that. I've played a lot of golf with Andrew, and he might be one of the best I've ever seen. And for you to even compare me to that is kind of crazy in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
trust me,
appreciate it.
we've had some knockout, drag out wars over that because I realize, I mean, I did a lot of Andrew's fittings, right? And I know how good he is.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he had conditional status on the Canadian and then just decided, okay, I'm good. Yeah. COVID hit and he was like, eh.
Yeah. Oklahoma now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But he went out to give it a go. And, I told you how hard it is to get on.
Q school.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, Andrew Wyatt. He's another one that
It's
once the
string.
pressure was gone, right, of the money, that's another thing. Guaranteed contracts is a big deal because so many of them get out there and they fail not because of anything other than
Pressure.
they're worried about the money.
That
They're
brings
worried
up,
about the money.
it brings up an interesting question. And again, we don't have to go so far down this. Do you think we'd see lower scores if there was guaranteed money?
No doubt. And I'll tell you this. I think you'd see guys. Here's where I think you'd see the difference. I think you'd see it at the bottom of the leaderboards.
You'd see a lot of those low end guys come up.
Yes, sir.
So it'd be much more competition at the top.
Yeah, because I would tell you that the bottom 100, most of them are not just dried up old guys that can't hit it.
They're good.
They're great players that worry about the money.
It's a war zone out there, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a guy you hate.
And then it's the mental, right? The
only got-
mental kicks in.
You really only have like 50 guys that are like not that worried about anything because
Yeah.
they're making, they're in top 50. They're making a bunch of money. 50 to 125, 150 is what I don't even really know. Is it
150.
100, is there 150 cards?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Those guys that are teetering around on that card line, man, that's a dangerous place to be living.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's you don't get it, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a dangerous place to be living for sure.
What a grind. And listen, there's a beauty behind that. I'm not disputing that. But times they have changed. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
You can't have it impossible to get on the tour.
Right.
And once you get on tour, there's still no
Incentive to be there.
yeah, like who cares?
Yeah.
And then Liv comes around, hey, I'll give you 20 million. Bye.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
I mean,
20 million's
Professional golf's professional golf. I mean,
$20 million to play professional golf at some of the most beautiful golf courses in the world.
I'm gone. Simple. And you can sit there on your high horse and say you wouldn't go, but I guarantee you if somebody put a check in front of you for 20 or 40 million dollars, you'd think twice. You can say you wouldn't do it all day long for tradition's sake, but if I put that money right in front of you and said, "Here you go, Mr. Clinton."
That's lifetime money.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you, man. I mean, all these
Lifetime
people,
money.
managed correctly for sure.
they listen to they listen to this, they listen to the PGA tell them this and that, and then guess what happens? The PGA turned on everybody.
And did
And
the
did a
same
deal
thing.
anyway.
Yeah. You take 10 million of that and put it in the right account, you're living off the interest.
That's what I'm saying,
8%,
dude.
800,000 a year.
You're living off the interest.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I mean,
And you're talking about some of the guys got like 100 plus.
Yeah.
yeah.
Obviously, your big name guys, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like the guys that didn't have to worry about the money got more money from the live because
They want the name.
those guys
yeah.
are just. I mean, they're the guys over there. That money is like it doesn't even exist. It's like they have so much of it. They're like, oh, 100 million for you. Oh, Rob, 600 million for you. It's like
Yeah, it's
they don't
nothing.
care.
Hey, Roy, we'll give you 500 million. I think I'll pass.
Yeah.
I think I won't do that because I need to be loyal to the PGA that turned around and just
Stabbed him in the back.
rammed it
Yeah.
right in his rear end.
Yeah. They,
And Rom was kind of, like I said, didn't watch a ton of it, but Rom was kind of chirping at him too there for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah,
yeah.
as well he should have.
Well, the PGA stabbed them all in the back.
Well, of course they did.
Yeah. It's like, oh, tradition. And then was like,
Yeah.
ignored everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
mean,
I don't know,
that's
man.
pretty, like his, Rom's great grandkids are gonna have
Oh, for sure.
millions.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my point, dude. Like, and you know what? So are Shaq's kids. So are Jordan's kids, right? LeBron's kids. Okay, Emmett Smith. I don't care. Name one.
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tim Brody.
Okay, the GOAT. All of those people are going to have generational money. So you're saying because they play golf, they shouldn't get that
Yeah.
at the professional level, a level in which nobody relative, right, to how many people play the game, where basically 150 people get to play professionally,
Yeah.
Basically.
right?
Yep.
On the big stage.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
To where they make the money.
The minor league system is such a joke.
Yeah.
The Corn Ferry is such a joke. that even if you win a Corn Ferry event,
Make like $100,000.
yeah, 100 grand,
How much does
that's
it cost
gone
to
in
travel
a year. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's gone in a year.
You basically have to win 2 to 3 Corn Ferry. Like that's how Scotty got his card. He won a bunch of Corn Ferry Tour events. I think he won the Corn Ferry Tour deal for the top 25 get their card, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you, bro. It's like you said a minute ago. He did it at the right time.
I mean, he's just ridiculous.
But even that right there, 25 nowadays, I don't know if 1% of those guys make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, you got like
Scotty's a generational talent.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
You got guys like, I mean, you got to look at. He's kind of doing what Tiger was doing back in the day.
100%.
And
Thank you.
can almost argue that
He's the Tiger of our
you can almost
era.
argue that it's harder to do that now because everybody's so good. And not to say that the guys in the 2000s weren't so good, but there wasn't as many good
Bro,
guys.
it was a different game, though.
Yeah.
Tiger revolutionized it where it got longer,
Yeah.
right?
Had to make
So
golf
you're
courses
exactly
for
right.
him.
Golf courses are way harder now.
I
They're
just-
longer.
I think
Tighter.
Now this might be a very off the wall take, but in my opinion, like what he's been doing is almost like more impressive than what Tiger was doing.
So I said this, and I've asked this question.
You said almost.
It might be. I think it is more impressive. Like the way he's beaten the best players in the world now. Like that, I think the best players in the world are better than the best players.
Are
in the
you
world
saying?
back in the day.
Are you saying the way he's dominating those players?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
I agree.
Like
I
he's-
agree.
And
And you know I
obviously
love Tiger.
Obviously, Tiger would like he got the U.S. Open in what 2000 when he won by 15, which he's not doing that, but he's winning against the best players that are better than the best players from the 2000s, in my opinion.
I
I
think
asked-
there's a lot more knowable
Yeah.
names from the past, but that's only because, I don't think a lot of these younger guys anybody knows yet on the PGA Tour. They don't have any star power,
Yeah,
and I
he's
think
just-
that's what brings Scotty down a little.
He's just dismantling fields.
I asked this question the week after he won the Players. He had won 2 in a row at that point, right? The Players was the second.
They won Bay Hill.
Bay Hill, the Players. The next week, he went in and had a putt to go into a
Yeah,
playoff.
at the Houston Open.
5-footer. His normal routine is he sits down behind it, aligns his golf ball, goes to the other side, looks at it, comes back, looks at it again, and putts. That one, he set down his golf ball, got behind it, and putted. I think he was tired.
My theory on that,
I think he
was
missed
about
it on
to say,
purpose.
I think he was worn out.
I think he missed it
I
on
think
purpose.
he was like, I don't want to go play another golf hole right now. I'll take my 550,000
One
Masters.
the next week. My question I was asking, I said, do you think we're in a new era, a new Tiger era, only it's with Scotty Scheffler? And I've gotten more yeses than nos. People think that Scotty Scheffler is doing what Tiger did and will continue to do it. So we're in the Scotty era now.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I mean, we were in the Spieth era not too long ago.
Well,
right?
no.
I mean, Scotty's different. Yeah, we were.
No, you're right. You're right. Spieth was unconscious for 2 years, but now he's conscious.
The only reason you can say is because Spieth lost his mind
Yeah.
and lost all of his confidence, forgot who he was as a player, and now he sucks.
Yeah.
But he's
I don't know that Scotty Scheffler's going to do that. But here's the thing about Scotty. I mean, he's got a little more star power, than Spieth did. Although Spieth was that squeaky clean good guy image, right? That you really kind of want. Ricky Fowler was kind of the same way, right? And those guys are great. They're great guys. But dude, they don't push ratings. Scotty's dominance, however, can push ratings
Yeah.
because that's what got Tiger to do it.
I guess that's where I was going with it is like, yeah, Jordan won a bunch. Roy, he won a bunch. And all these guys had their moments where they were winning. Scotty's wins are different because he's driving the needle, I think.
Well, they're
like
dominant.
the players,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
He's a guy that's engaging.
He was essentially out of the tournament at one point.
Yeah. And he's the only one to win one back to back.
I don't even remember. Did he come? It was 8 back or something like that. When
On Saturday.
he shot 60. Yeah, he was 8 back going in the weekend.
Yeah.
Which most people, they ain't gonna win.
At TPC Sawgrass.
You got a guy that's where he's at on the leaderboard. You ain't catching that guy normally.
Yeah.
Scotty was just like, mean, he
Put the
that's the most impressive win I think he's ever had.
yeah, and it was back to back. Nobody's ever done that.
And he won it back to back. It's nuts.
Well, it's crazy. Okay, Martin, I want to ask you a question. This is how we're going to finish. I finish like this every week. What is your favorite golf moment ever? And it could be funny, it could be heartfelt, but what is your favorite moment in golf that you've ever had?
Favorite golf moment. And probably when I signed my letter of intent for going to play college golf.
At UT.
It was a proud moment. You know, I had worked really hard, and I think that was cool. Obviously, as we kind of alluded to, I didn't really do much with it, but it was a cool experience. And you know, being recruited to go play was, you know, I was proud that I was getting looked at and was able to go get my school paid for to play golf.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably that.
Yeah, and I mean, how many kids can say that? Like, not very many.
Mm-mm. Especially not today's world. I mean, most of them are going JUCO first and then trying to transfer because of the portal and all the things. So the fact that he I mean, even back then, dude, to get recruited straight to Division I from this area, you had to be a player.
Yeah. We've talked about it almost every week, how they don't look out here. They don't.
There's been a lot of good players come out here, and you know, like, not a ton.
Yeah.
Like, you can even go back to, like, you know, the 80s, and like Sean Savage, guy was unreal. Bobby G, dude was unreal.
Grunwald.
Kelly, is he from out here? I don't even know. I don't know. Love Kel though.
He's lived out here a long time. I know that.
Dude.
I think
he's one of the
maybe
best ball players.
DFW.
we'll have to find out. Yeah, because I think maybe DFW or
We can ask him on Tuesday.
I don't know where he's from actually, but I know
Kelly has hands like this big.
Paul's, man.
mashes the golf ball. Still is
Yeah.
50.
But in the I guess if you look at it from the spectrum of, there's been very few that got recruited out of here.
Yeah.
And I think they just don't look.
Well, they unfairly labeled them bangers or, you know, sprayers or whatever they call them.
You can hit it everywhere out there.
Yeah, you just got to go hit it and chase it again. Well,
That's
I'll
not
tell you
necessarily
right
true,
now,
Yeah.
you grow up out here fighting the wind. Give us a place where there's no wind. Watch this.
Yeah.
We got every shot in the book.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go spray it around Midland Country Club. You can't go spray it around Lubbock Country Club.
You're right. Can't
You
spray
can't
it
really
at
spray it
OCC.
around you can maybe spray it around a little bit on the links course, but you
Not
can't spray
old.
it around on the old course.
No.
Can't do it.
And might be a hot take. Spray it around on the quail.
Yeah, no, I hate the quail. That's why I put the 200 in the bag and took my driver out for that whole deal.
You can't spray it there.
No, and you're in the mesquites.
Yeah, for those that don't know, that's our public facility here.
Which will be our only public facility.
Yeah, we're about to lose 2 golf courses. We already lost one. We're about to lose another one. It's
Then
crazy.
Sunset and Odessa.
No, they're
Gone.
they're gone.
There you
Gone.
go.
I never even played it.
They've been gone a long time, but not physically, but now it's closed.
It's sad, man.
We need to do something like
We're gonna.
with Red Feather.
We're gonna.
We need to open something.
I got an idea.
There's lots of land.
It's happening.
I got an idea. We got to get a little money behind it. But I got an idea, and it's going to kill it.
Well,
That's all I'm going to say.
we'll leave it there. Martin, thanks so much for being on,
Thanks for
bro.
having me, guys. Yeah. Love you guys.
Thanks for having a conversation. We love you, and thanks for having a conversation with us. And again, no pressure, but we need you to win the quarter century. So,
I'm gonna try.
we hope you guys, you and your partner, just wreak havoc on them this week, and you win the quarter century, and then we'll just have to have you back on with the trophy.
That would be awesome. Sign me up
Yeah.
if we can get her done.
And we have 4 chairs, so
Pods.
there'd be room for your pods to sit here and have a conversation about the quarter century. So thanks for being on with us today. This episode will air on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Episode 14 with Martin. board. One of the funnest conversations we've had. Lots of great memories with Martin, an incredible golfer. And so look out for this episode. As always, go visit us at ghqcrew.com. Get you some dope merch, t-shirt, hoodie, hat. Get you something to represent the crew. And like always, man, we'll see you next Friday night, 9 p.m. Thanks for joining us.
Is that a wrap?